Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Kurt, aka the Vitruvian Gamer, and I'm here with a new playthrough. This time we're doing Everything Lost, which is a solo game by Thomas Janssen and Elven Ear Games. You might recognize his name. I've done a game of him before in the past. I've did a playthrough of Club Stories, which was a football game. And now he has a zombie apocalypse game here. And he asked me if I wanted to do another playthrough, and I of course was honored to do so, and I am going to enjoy this for sure. So, a solo game where, well, let's talk about the story. So, it is a scenario-based game, so there is a story to it. This is chapter 1, that's what we are going to play now. Now, this is not the real rulebook, this is just PDF that I printed out, but if you buy the game, you will get a decent one, of course. So, chapter 1, let's tell you about the story a little bit, is one day you wake up like every other repetitive day of your life. Like always, the first thing you do is open your curtains and look outside to find out that this day is different. You are stunned, everything lost. Your town is destroyed, roads are gone, rubble is everywhere. Most buildings, which are still standing, look like skeletons. A few people are out there, stumbling goalless between the chaos like zombies. What is this? What happened? For how long have you been sleeping? You open your fridge. Oh, the smell! You close it fast. You feel a cold breeze and look up. You notice almost half of your roof is missing. You're shaking. It's freezing. You start to feel a primal drift and realize no one is there to help you. You have to take care of things. Danger is out there. Instinctively, you grab a tool from your toolbox. You need food, and the cold is going to kill you. What will you do? Okay, so in this part of the playthrough, I will go about doing the setup of scenario 1, the first mission that we're going to play. Most of it is the same for if you play different missions, but still, if you play, keep in mind, check out the rulebook to see what is different in the setup. So the basic startup or setup of this game is you take all these components that you see here. We have dice, so these are player dice. This is the combat die. This is just a general die to roll for general stuff, and these are zombie dice right over here. We have one token, which is the bandages token. We have random side missions, so we shuffle these and put them somewhere in reach. We have a bunch of weapons as well, a pile, and they go to level 3, so they start level 1 and they go all the way up to level 3. So this one is at the wrong spot. And as the story says, and that's the case for this first mission here, you are allowed to take a tool with you, a level 1 tool. There are four here, and the way it works is you shuffle them and you draw 2 at random. So I'm not going to watch, I'm just going to shuffle and take 2. And now I get a choice of 2 of one of these. So what are my options here? I could take this butcher's knife here, which gives me, well, they all have a downside. They're just tools, right? You can fight with them, but they're not perfect. So in this case, if I roll 2 or more hits, I need to re-roll one of those hits, so it might become a failure. But the good thing is, if I have no food, which is one of the resources that I can get, after I killed all zombies in a fight, I get 1 food. That's cool. But this might be even more interesting, folks. So this is the crowbar. And the crowbar, well, the downside is before rolling dice, after I choose my dice, and I will explain that later, I will have to discard one. So I have one die less. So each time I go fighting, one of the dice that I pick to fight doesn't do anything. It just goes to the used dice, and I roll the rest of my dice that I've chosen. So that's a big downside as well, but as long as I have this weapon, I get a +1 on break-in actions, so it's easier for me to get into a building. So I get to choose one of these 2. Now this downside can be really tough, but this one as well. So let's go for the crowbar. Let's make it a little bit easier to break into places. And all the other weapons, well, they go on the side, and when we find one, we can take it out of that deck. All right, so let's go further to the left here. So we have this sheet here. This is a notebook of sheets. This is where you're going to do different stuff. So I'm going to create a character, and in the beginning of the game you can choose one skill that you are able to do, and you have a different amount of skills. You have scavenger, burglar, leader, soldier, and scout, which means scavenging means I get more buildings if I explore a new spot in the town. I get more buildings to draw and to maybe break into. A burglar has also +1 in breaking in, so if I combine that with my crowbar, well, I'm very good at breaking in stuff. A leader gets loyalty +1. Well, at the first level it does. Loyalty, well, that helps to keep survivors who are going to help you with you, because sometimes they maybe are doubting to stay with you, and then you do a loyalty check, so that helps with that. But in this first mission, there will not be any survivors to take with you. I can be a soldier, which allows me to use level 1 and level 2 weapons. So because I might find weapons and I might not be able to use it because I don't know how. Or I might become a scout, which gives me more rubble in each location to go through, which is also pretty cool. So what will I do? Well, I think I'm going to go for scavenger or scout. That's a good question. Since I do have this cool break-in bonus for my crowbar, I think I'm going for scavenger. So I'm going to put an X there. Well, all the other things I will explain later. This is my level. I'm level 1 because I just started a new game. Survivors, that will not be anything for this mission. But this here, we have a town name. Where do I live? Well, let's see. I'm going to call it Solace. All right. And the sector, well, that depends on the mission. So let's go to that mission now first. So I have a choice here. So the mission says I can find myself some food. Then I play mission 1A, or I can repair my home. That's mission 1B. And I've chosen to find me some food, which gives me this card, and every mission has its own card, so that's pretty cool. There we go. And the first mission, as you can see, it will play in sector northeast, so I can write northeast down here. I will go into this part of the player sheet here very soon. Okay, what else do we have? We have 3 more piles here. First, we have the zombies piles. So in this pile, I've put every level 1 zombie in here. So I've looked through the deck and I put every level 1 zombie in here and shuffled them and placed them here above this board here where it says zombies. There are more zombies in the game, going I think up to level 6 or something, or 5 I think. These, well, put them aside. You might need these later, or some of these later if we manage to level up. So I'm going to put these aside for now. Then we also have buildings. So the buildings you can recognize because they have these 6 building names here in the left bottom corner. You can use all of them in every scenario, I believe, especially in the first one. So shuffle these as well and put them here as a buildings deck. And then we have rubble. And for the first mission, you have to take out all the rubble that says here underneath opportunity. Who goes there, because that might give you survivors to join you, but that doesn't happen in the first scenario. So take out these cards and put them in the box or on the side. All the other cards, rubble cards, you can shuffle these and put them here as the rubble deck. Keep space for a discard pile. Okay, and then we have this board here. This is our board where we track a bunch of stuff. So at the beginning of the game or in setup, just put marker on every lowest spot possible. Also 1 black marker here on the bitten spot. And then you are going to check your scenario, and that will, your mission setup will tell you what the real starting numbers are on this track. In this case, we have threat 2, which is okay. Of course, experience 0. Willpower goes to 5, as does our health. And we get 1 bandages. There we go. So, what mission will I choose? That's important now. And I think I'm going to find ourselves some food instead of repairing our home. you can choose. Finding our food will have a success bonus if we manage to do so. In this case, we would get 1 willpower. Our home status would go down. Oh, by the way, our home status starts at 2, and that's this track here. So we start at 2. If this ever reaches 0, then we lose the game and zombies have entered our home and we die. Okay, so after this mission, this will go down once more because we didn't repair our home. We went to get food. All right, so that's the choices we made. These tracks, what they do, I will explain very soon. Let's take a look at this mission card here. It tells you a little bit more of the story. It says you go out. It must have been ages since you left your apartment. You decide to look for food. In the meantime, you can explore this part of town or what's left of it. So this here says draw your home in zone A1. So these are numbered and they have letters here. So A1 is this part. So this is actually the middle of our town. So we live in the middle of town, and in this mission we're going to explore this part, the northeastern part. So if we go to a next mission and it will be in the southeast, for example, we would draw our mission, our home here and go like this. All right, so let's draw it here. So that's where we start. So you take a pencil or a pen or whatever you want to use. You draw, in the first thing you draw a crossroad. So in your home spot, you draw a crossroad and you draw your house. Now, you can draw this as cool and as awesome as you wish. I am super bad at drawing, so I'm just going to make it a little abstractist, but you can do whatever you want. You can even just write down home or whatever you want. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to do is, well, tell you what the goal of this game is, or of this mission. I have to bring home 2 food. I have 0 food at this moment, so I will have to find 2 food, get back home, and use 1 more action with the die to get inside and end the game. You see, that's in bold, so that's something I need to do in order to win this mission. Also in bold is explore at least 5 zones outside your home. So it means I need to scout or explore at least 5 more other squares on this grid here. And optionally, because it's not in bold, I can also claim a building. So why would I do this? Well, in the first place to win the game, but also it will score me points. 20 points if I bring home 2 food, 20 points if I explore those 5 zones. And if I also do that claim a building thing, I would score me 10 points and unlock a free skill, one of those things that I showed you before. So that might be something cool to do. All right, and I think that's about it for a setup. So I'm good to go. I got my weapon. We have our decks here. We have our hometown. So before I get into the gameplay in the next video, so be sure to go to the next one if you want to see how this game gets played. I already will show you how I set up this first place here, the location where my home is, because first of all, we always draw 1 building and 1 rubble card and place them here. These are the active cards. This is what's in this spot here. And because I'm a scavenger, it says buildings plus 1 card. I add a second one here. Now, all these cards, these building cards, they have 6 numbers on them with a name of a building. Now, you don't need to do this, but it's thematically is way more fun, of course, to roll the die and to see what kind of building it actually is. So here we roll. Oh, and I should have rolled. I've got a dice tower here, so I rolled a 5. So that means I'm going to have, and it says this here, it says 5. It's a pharmacy. And it makes sense because we can see already we might find things that help with health in there. So a pharmacy. So let's see. Let's say I live across this pharmacy here. So let's just do this pharmacy, which is way too small for me to write with this little bit too thick of a, of a pen. All right. So that's a pharmacy. Let's go to the other building, which is 6. And 6 is here. We can also find things with health here. Probably, maybe, we're not sure. And this says it's a first aid post. Well, that's a good spot to be across the pharmacy. So this is the first aid spot. So that's cool. So let's call it first with an S, of course. 8. There we go. Let's put a red cross here. There we go. Well, it's not red, but you know what I mean. Okay, and now I am good to go, ready to get outside and, well, try to survive, find food, explore 5 zones at least, and maybe claim a building if I can, while surviving zombies. So that's it for now, folks. This is the setup of Everything Lost. If you play future scenarios, you of course will keep stuff of the previous game, which you can write down here in this part. You can write down the survivors you have, the weapons, the stages of your home, if you were bitten, if you got experience points left, and of course your survival points, which in later games becomes more important because that will decide if you've managed to win all 4 scenarios, how well you exactly did. You might also have some side missions that you have done or not, so you can write that down here. And yeah, that's it for now, folks. Thank you for watching this setup video, and please go to the next one where I will start playing this scenario. I will keep it this way and see if we can survive here in Everything Lost. Thanks, and see you next time. Bye bye.